The science behind testosterone. JB here, and we are going to go over a few tidbits about testosterone. So, what we're going to do is talk about a rather kind of practical explanation of what testosterone is, how it works, and what it does in the body. Okay, so let's start with the science. So, what is testosterone? Testosterone is a hormone that males and females need in the right amount for optimal mental health and physical performance. In this overview, we are going to kind of focus on the role testosterone plays in men. It is something that plays a different role as men age and early development. It is very helpful for brain, sex, and bone formulation. So later in life, it's important for maintaining proper brain chemistry, keeping muscle mass intact, and retaining sexual function. So here's why it is important. All right, so the human body is rather fascinating. It has several regulation systems in place to keep things working properly. So the body is a system of systems, right? So for example, if you eat sugar, your body has chemical receptors that pick up the increase of glucose in your bloodstream, and in response, it releases insulin from your pancreas to regulate your blood sugar and maintain homeostasis, back to homeostasis, right? So just like your body has a system for regulating uh, blood glucose levels, it is a system for regulating your testosterone. And so the testosterone production process begins when your brain sends a chemical signal to the hypothalamus. This is the part of your brain that connects the endocrine system with the nervous system, and it tells it to make some more testosterone. So, in turn, after that happens, the hypothalamus releases a chemical messenger called gonadotropin, right? That gets picked up by the pituitary gland, the part of your body that controls other hormone glands in your body. And this inevitably causes the pituitary gland to release two hormones: luteinizing hormone, LH, and follicle stimulating hormone, FSH. These hormones signal the Leydig cells in the testes to produce testosterone. So then the testosterone is released into the bloodstream, where it will either be bound to sex hormone, hormone binding globulin, SHBG, and albumin, or remain in its free form and find other targeted cells to bind with. So when there is enough, testosterone in the human body, a negative feedback loop known as the HPTA, so Hypothalamic-Pituitary-Testicular-Axis, right, sends messages to the pituitary saying there's too much testosterone freely circulating around. The pituitary then slows production of LH. Then eventually FSH, testosterone will be reduced, aka broken down into the body, into another number of other metabolites that serve kind of important functions, such as DHT or estradiol, right? So in a perfect world, this homeostatic process works to keep men at optimal levels of testosterone. But unfortunately, homeostasis is rarely maintained in the male endocrine systems in the present day for a number of reasons. Okay. So why? Why is it the case? So as we age, okay, our body becomes less efficient in maintaining proper testosterone production, and our testosterone levels begin to decrease. This could be in response to an injury, such as damaged testes, but most men don't have testicular injuries, yet they have low testosterone levels. Why is that? So the truth is really, and unfortunately not enough people are acknowledging this, is that modern environments we live in are catastrophic to our endocrine systems, right? And in fact, from a study from Hebrew University, you can actually predict men may be infertile by year 2050. So a little draconian, but that's something that's going around, right? And so living in cities, working all day under fluorescent lights, eating manufactured GMO foods, having deodorants with phthalates and plastics and so forth, right? In our shampoos, those are kind of slowly but surely kind of eating away and hurting our bodies, right? And the challenge here is also the increase in environmental pollutants, contaminants, and particulates in the air produced by industrial factories, like smog, emissions from cars, and more are bombarding our systems and lowering testosterone levels on a global scale. So sperm counts are falling due to exposure to pesticides, endocrine-disrupting chemicals like BPA, and many other toxins that are increasingly pervading our water and food supplies, right? So men are also under siege from hormone-suppressing phytoestrogens, right? Such as soy products and a host of other toxins that enter our body that aren't meant to handle. They're commonplace today. So as I mentioned earlier, exposure to phthalates, right, which are chemicals found in plastics and personal care products. So, as I said, shampoos, deodorants, so forth, right? Body wash, that's feminizing guys by, blocking normal testosterone production. Phthalates are a problem that exists not just for men, but for women and children as well. There's now enough scientific evidence from animal and human studies to show that exposure to phthalates is associated with reduced testosterone levels and the fertility disorders that come with them. So, how do you know if your testosterone levels have decreased? So, regardless of the cause, when your testosterone levels decline, and you'll start to feel less energetic over time. This sneaks up to most guys in the form of low energy and low vitality. That includes lower sex drive. And most of them accept this as a natural side of being old. So, if a man with low testosterone is fortunate enough to be diagnosed by a physician, he can be classified as hypogonadal, aka suffering from low levels of testosterone, and resume treatment, testosterone replacement therapy. The most recent study shows that nearly 40% of men over the age of 50 are classified as hypogonadal, so suffering from hypogonadism. But as the science continues to show, this number is significantly underestimated and underreported. So, for the purpose of keeping things simple, there are two forms of diagnosed hypogonadism, and let's go talk about what they are. So, primary hypogonadism, right? This is, a medical term that is explaining effectively a result from the defects of the testes. So this can result from physical defects to that HPTA loop, okay, and is usually indicated when luteinizing hormone or follicle stimulating hormone (FSH) are elevated. So since these two hormones are produced in the testes, elevated levels of both hormones likely mean the problem of low testosterone is due to issues there. So secondary hypogonadism results from hypothalamic or pituitary defects, which may be tied to obesity, insulin resistance, or environmental factors. In this instance, LH or FSH are at normal low levels, suggesting the problem is a disruption within the HTPA or HPGA cycle. And this diagnosis is normally associated with aging, men suffering from a testosterone deficiency. So many doctors falsely classify normal aging as a cause of secondary hypogonadism, ignoring the environmental factors that are unique to the modern societal living. However, we refuse to accept getting softer, weaker, depressed, and having low libido as normal and as healthy forms of aging. So why would you, or any man for that matter, want to feel this way, especially knowing that you can optimize your blood levels for life with the power of testosterone replacement therapy? So that brings us to the end of this webinar on the science behind testosterone. So let's quickly recap what we learned. Testosterone is a hormone that males and females need in the right amount for optimal mental health and physical performance. It plays many roles as we age. The human body has several regulation systems in place to keep things working properly, aka maintaining homeostasis, including a system for regulating your testosterone. We learned some endocrinology and about the importance of the Hypothalamic-Pituitary-Testicular-Axis, HPTA, feedback loop. There are things going on in the world that are preventing your body from naturally producing optimal levels of testosterone. So in this day and age, we are constantly being exposed to endocrine-disrupting chemicals and toxins that lower testosterone levels. This sneaks up on most men in the form of low energy and low vitality. Yet most men accept this as a natural side effect of being old. If this is happening to you, you may want to visit a doctor. So lastly, we define the two clinical diagnosis terms for testosterone deficiency, primary and secondary hypogonadism. Primary hypogonadism is usually due to medical defect, whereas secondary hypogonadism is caused by environmental factors like aging, poor nutrition, obesity, and endocrine disrupting chemicals, and so forth. So this is all the science we have for you today. If you have any questions on this material, feel free to reach out to us. And thank you for your time today.